All right, guys. Cool. Looks like we're kicking this off. Give it a second here. Cool. All right, so we're live. Welcome to this week's Thursday Live. So you guys may notice I'm in a different background. Internet at the house is out, so you guys know what we got to do. We got to adjust, and so we're at a different setting today to get this live to you guys because we want to stay on point and delivering value. So welcome to the Thursday Live. If you guys don't know, now you know. We do these every Thursday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Okay, so adjust accordingly. And then for those of you who don't know, my name is Charlie Mitchell. I run kids program solutions with my wife, Allie. We come from a collective 15 years of experience of running kids programs, scaling those programs up into $1 million run rate and doing that in 6 months or less. Okay, so if that's something that you guys are interested in or need help with, we are the people that can definitely help you guys with it. Why do we make these videos? All right, so what we do is we want to make these videos as value pieces that we can put into our community, give to you guys, add to your day, so that ideally you get value out of this and you want to build a relationship with us in return. Okay, and so this is just a great way for us to kind of get the ground laid, and then from there build the relationship and continue to go maybe even further into potentially working on a more intimate basis. So without further ado, let's talk about the power of expectations today. And this is one of the things that I'm fortunate, since like this morning's been kind of crazy, that I'm fortunate that this is a topic that I'm extremely well versed on and something I'm really passionate about. And it's a really powerful piece that a lot of people overlook or they don't really think about. I think when you talk about expectations, people naturally understand how expectations are important, but I don't think anyone actually goes to the level of actually creating solutions that will scale with expectations or make expectations incredibly transparent and obvious to people. And so what do I mean by that? All right, so let's first start off by talking about who should be setting expectations and who shouldn't. Okay, the expectations should be set by the business owner. Okay, and the business owner should be setting expectations based off of the needs of the position that you are creating. Okay, so what I mean by that is, don't put expectations onto a role that you wouldn't have put those expectations on if you were in that role. So don't ask your coaches to do something that you wouldn't have done as the owner. But there's also, that's a catch-22, because you might have done things as the owner that you did because you're the owner, but then your staff won't do that, right? Because they're not the owner. They don't have the extra incentive to go the extra mile. So what I'm saying is you need to understand as ownership, right? You're the leader in the business. You need to understand what the relationship between the expectation and the business's needs are, and that's how you're going to craft extremely good expectations, okay? So first off, who should set the expectations? It should be the leader, listening to the needs of the business to determine the expectations and how they should be deployed in the business. Okay, so that's first one. Next one is, what are expectations? Okay, expectations are going to be clear set parameters that you give to your people out the gate, okay? And people need to agree to these expectations. And the reason being is because if you're going to go into holding people accountable to those expectations, it needs to be a set of expectations that they agree to uphold. You can't just set those expectations out there and then just say, okay, cool, now that those expectations are out there, my belief or my expectation is that they're met, okay? You may not have done a good job communicating those expectations, okay? So what you want to do is you need to set up a clear set of, these are the expectations, here's the business relationship and why those expectations are there. Then the next step is going to actually documenting those expectations down, making them extremely measurable, okay? Extremely measurable. And why do I use the word extremely and measurable, right? Is because a lot of times we'll be like, hey, my expectation is that you are professional in the workplace. The problem with using ambiguous words like professional is that the definition and the understanding that you have of that word and the definition and the understanding of the word that your staff member has may in fact be very different from one another. So what you want to do is you want to list out like what you expect professionalism to be, of showing up on time, treating your peers with respect, engaging in professional behavior or behavior that couldn't be deemed any other way other than professional with your clientele, right? And then it's like coaches flirting with your staff, or excuse me, coaches flirting with your clients, that kind of thing. It happens, right? So you need to set those professional expectations out there and then clearly define what they are. And this isn't just professional expectations. This is expectations in general. So if my expectation is, hey, I need you to go talk to parents, like you guys may have noticed on our scorecard that when we tell our coaches, hey, we want you to engage with parents, I literally have a measurement of how to get a 5 in parent engagement. And that's talking to 7 to 8 parents weekly. And so I've broken it down into a measurable number that my staff member doesn't have to guess around. Okay, my staff member can go, hey, that's 7 to 8. That means I got to do like 1 or 2 a day each week, and then I'll hit that number. Instead of like, well, I'm talking to parents. I didn't know you wanted me to talk to parents like this in order to get the 5, right? Or however you're going to do your mark system, okay? And if you guys don't know, we do have a scorecard in the group, our coach scorecard. It's one of our free values that we give to you guys. Find it, comment on it, and then we can send it to you. And this is a massive tool in terms of expectations. And so scorecards are an exceptional tool that you guys can use to map out your expectations. And the reason they're called scorecards is because they're designed to be very clearly articulated in terms of what those expectations are. Like in order to get a 1, this is the expectation. In order to get a 2, this is the expectation. 3, so on and so forth, okay? So make sure that you are first off understanding who's setting the expectations and the relationship between where the expectations are sourced from and what a reasonable expectation is, okay? So the reality that demands it, i.e. the business, and then the leadership placing that expectation onto the staff of, okay, now this is a reasonable expectation to be placing on my staff member. Next up is then to define those expectations with a very clear set of circumstances, a very clear set of metrics that can be measured, that can be quantifiable, that people can clearly understand. Your expectations should not be a shock to your people. They should know how to act out on those expectations. And if they don't have any clarity, it's your responsibility as a leader to make it clear for them. All right, so that's number 2. And then the final piece is holding accountability to those expectations and then taking that feedback and deploying it in a means that provides them the resources that they need. So what I'm saying is, if you come to me, I'm your coach, right? And you're like, hey, my expectation is that you're asking for referrals at the end of every single class, okay? And I say, okay, great. All I need for that is if you could provide me a clear referral sheet to know what that offer is going to be or how I should pitch that. That's all I need from you. As a leader, your job is to then go get that, okay? And that's a really simple example, and I think a lot of you would be like, well, of course I'm going to go get that, right? But that's just painting to the picture of like when your staff communicate with you and they say these are the things that we need in order to meet the expectations that you have set. Your job as leadership is to go get those things and make them happen, because I as a leader want to, in a sense, remove the excuses that my people have that they may be saying, that they may have using as a means to like get away from it, right? So it's like, here's the expectation. And then when my staff member says, well, I can't meet this expectation because of X, Y, Z, my job as a leader is to go remove X, Y, and Z and say, okay, now what, right? And it's not like, I know I said that in kind of like a jerk fashion just there, but it's meant to be in more in a sense of like, let me as a leader provide for my people what they say they need, and then I can hold them accountable to the expectations. So when you hold them accountable to the expectations, be ready for them to provide feedback to you as to exactly what it is that they need to meet that expectation, and hear that out and then provide them the feedback loop, i.e. they provide feedback and then you provide a solution. That's the feedback loop, right? Feedback, solution, feedback, solution. So as you provide that to them, they're going to see when I talk to leadership, they listen and they provide me what I need to meet these expectations, so that they know anytime you add expectations to the list, provided it's within reason, they know that they can come to you and ask for the things that they need to meet that expectation. Okay, so whenever I give expectations to my people, the first question I'm asking is I say, what do you need from me to make sure that you can meet this expectation? Okay, and the great part is when you're actually policing these expectations. For example, let's say you have a staff member who always shows up late, or maybe they don't ever get covers, right? You bring them in and you ask that question. You say, hey, have I not made it clear that this is my expectation for the position? And they'll say, yeah, you've made this clear. This is the expectation for the position. Okay, great. Now that I've made that expectation clear for the position, what can I do? What do I need to do to make sure that you can meet that expectation? And a lot of times people, that's when it gives them the chance to step up to the plate and say, the responsibility falls on me The responsibility is that I need to actually show up on time. And you as a leader say, yeah, I'm happy to hear you say that. I agree. So let's go forth. And now that we've had this conversation, I just want you to know that if it happens again, I will have to write you up, okay? Because you've already admitted that you need to take responsibility for this, and I need professionals in my business, okay? So let's just show up on time so we don't have to worry about that. So those are kind of your three pieces, all right? Is first off, who's setting expectations, where are those expectations stemming from, what's the reality we're pulling them through. The second aspect of those expectations is, are we creating clear, measurable, quantifiable expectations, right? So can I explain this in a super simple fashion and put as many clearly concise words and letters and numbers to make this expectation ready to go? And then third, holding them accountable, listening to the feedback loop, and making sure that you are providing your people what they need in order to be successful. Okay, so that is today's Thursday's live. You know, guys, I love to always keep these short, sweet, and concise to the point. I want to respect your guys' time. If couple things, couple announcements. Okay, so first off, the first major announcement is this: we are launching our Staff Scaling Secrets program today. If you're on this call and you haven't gotten yours, all right, our current clients, you guys are going to get access to it already. You guys already know. If you're a current client, you get access to it. If you're not a current client, it's going to be $997. All right, so we're going to do $997 for access to the program. And for the first 3 people who book in, we're going to give an additional coaching call. So the program includes our Staff Scaling Secrets. It includes a coaching call after that, which preferably I'd like you to go through the criteria, or excuse me, not the criteria, but go through the program, and then we set up a call so I can help you with whatever specifically you need help with after you've gone through the material. But the first 3 people who sign up, we're going to give an additional coaching call. So you'll get access to the course, you'll get 2 coaching calls, and right now the price is $997, which it will go up in the future because we're going to keep adding to it as we go along. And it's going to teach you guys how to recruit staff, how to train staff, how to onboard staff, how to properly communicate with staff, our staff systems, our staff structure that we've used to scale up with flex coaches, anchor coaches, head coach, program director. So if you're interested in that, we're going to put an announcement into the group later today that will have a link. You guys can go to the landing page, and we back the whole program up with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Okay, so if that sounds like something you guys are interested in, look out for it later today, and then we're going to comment this replay to a lot of the people who weren't here today that wanted to watch it. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. I hope you enjoyed today's live. Comment in the comment section down below what you guys thought. Be on the lookout for future lives every week. Thursday at 11 Mountain Standard Time. So if you're Eastern, that's 2 hours. If you're Central, that's 1 hour. And then if you're West Coast, it's 1 hour behind. All right, so cool. I'm going to let you guys get to it. We'll post some of the relevant stuff in the comment section below, like maybe a call link if you guys want to talk more about our coaching program, where we'll work with you on a more intimate basis. But be on the lookout for our Staff Scaling Secret program to go live today. Like I said, it's only going to be $997. It's backed up by a 30-day guarantee. It comes with a coaching call, and for the first 3 people who sign up, we're going to do an additional coaching call where you're going to be with me, and I'm going to spend 1 hour to 2 hours working with you specifically on the things that you're having issues with, okay? And that's going to be all centered around helping you resolve your staff issues, okay? So if it's fixing your culture, fixing your compensation, establishing a career path, I'm your man. All right, cool. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for being on today's live. It was awesome. Love you guys. Bye.